What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot and Friends. Justin here. You feeling that energy? The moon's in Leo. And you know what? I was just really kind of reflecting on that. And I really, Leo has a really close place in my heart. My stepdad's a Leo. I have like 5 stacks of Leo. I just enjoy the Leo energy. But only because, like, it's when you really think about it being ruled by the sun, Leo brings about that natural light and just brings this warmth, can bring this sense of just like anything is possible and just really knows how to raise a vibe. I don't know if you've just seen sometimes you can get a couple Leos in the room or even like some Leo risings or just Leo energy. It's a party. But we'll talk about that. We'll get into that whole shindig here in a moment. But before that, if you're new here, again, welcome. My name is Justin. And know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also a place if you happen to have Cancer in your placements. Sun, moon, rising, wherever. This one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off this lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going to avoid, of course, it's all them lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Yeah. Now, let's jump into it. Because, yes, you know what? I was actually hanging out with someone. I was talking with someone, Sag, Moon, Leo, Rising. It's just like, woof. We usually have a great time. But you know what? Before we get into all that Leo energy, let's talk about a different energy. Because depending on when you're watching this, happy Mars Day, and I'm going to shuffle your deck here, get your general energy. But Mars is associated with Tuesday, Martes. And when we talk about Mars Day, Mars days are great for just getting into action, you know. These are my workout days. I love working out. I would even think about scheduling. If you have like a move that you need to do, try doing it on a Mars day. Or if you have anything that requires any sort of physical anything, try to get scheduled during Mars day. Or even try doing it during like a Mars hour. So experiment with that. See how that works for you. But there's something else I wanted to mention with Mars, but that's all I got there. But one thing I also wanted to Spirit. But one thing I also like to reflect on when we're talking about these different days is thinking about where is your Mars placement and how are you working with Mars? Because Mars is considered at least in traditional astrology, was considered the lesser malefic. So Mars likes to stir up a little trouble where Mars can. But Mars also, I think we can focus a lot on the net, where Mars can do some really very harsh things. Mars can do some very positive things as well, especially if you have a night chart. Mars is going to be one that is easier to work with rather than Saturn. So those are just some things to if you have a day chart versus a night chart, how you're working with this planets, what house Mars is in. I was actually just talking with someone who has Mars in the 6th house, and their Mars really does kind of run the show a little bit. When their Mars shows, man, it shows. But you know what? I've even come to notice when my Mars shows, it shows because I have Mars. I have a day chart, so Mars is he's doing the most work. And yeah, there are some days where Mars will not make me the one, but where I catch myself wanting to be the one. So yeah, just having that relationship with Mars, I feel or I think really helps him not run things behind the scenes and helps him be more constructive in what he can do. So just some things to think about with Mars. But let's get into the lunar shenanigans. Because depending on when you're watching this, on the 17th of December, the moon is going to enter into Leo at about 3:39 p.m. and that's going to be Pacific time. And she's still in that waning gibbous phase. Now, when we talk about Leo, like I was saying, Leo is ruled by the sun. So there's something really special with that, because when you're talking about the sun and the moon, but especially the sun is our brightest light, this star, everything surrounds the sun. And Leo is the fixed fire sign. So they have this, they're masculine in nature, so there's this active energy, but their modality is fixed. And I like to think of Leo as an oven. What is the thing that you want, that you're cooking up? You know, what fuels you? What drives you? And when you think about Leo, they have that connection with that light, having their sun in Leo, or, you know, if you happen to have your sun in Leo, wherever you happen to have, or even moon in Leo, whatever. But there is that connection, a deeper connection with that solar light. And I think when we're in that energy of Leo, it is remembering even on a deeper level, just that the soul that fuels this body. That's what I really kind of think about when I think about Leo energy, and just the battery behind the body in a sense. So I invite, when we're in this moon in Leo energy, are you doing things that keep that fire lit, or is the fuel that you're putting in there smothering the fire, or is it making it run too hot and run out of control? You know, what is going on, and how has that been? Maybe even how there certain aspects, when we're thinking about just the nature of the lunar cycle and whatever the intentions that you set, are there certain things that are getting in the way, that other things that you're fueling, that are getting in the way of new intentions that are trying to come into the mix? And how can we better mix some things together there? So those are just some ways. Let me kind of adjust this a little bit. Those are just some ways that I would invite to work with this kind of Leo energy, especially in this reflective part of the lunar cycle, when we get into that waning. That waning phase. I think my cameras just did something funny, so we're just gonna go ahead and switch over because that was on that note. Oh no, okay, I think now we're back. But on that note, that's all I got to say about that. And if you want to work with these planets and things more personally, look out, love a good retrograde. But if you want to work with these things more personally, more practically in your journey, down in the description box are a link for all of the services that I provide. So definitely check that out and avail yourself if that is something that resonates with you. But last little things here, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then before we get into this, I'm going to ring this bell to bring in some good vibes, so adjust your volume if you need to. But I'm going to give this a ring, and then we'll get into this thing. All right. Let's see what's going on. Interesting. All right, and I'm gonna shuffle this to get a clarifier on this. So we're still stuck in the tempest, or we're getting through that storm. You have the Tempest of Trials card here for your general energy. We had this in with the energy in Cancer, and this is a card of storms may challenge you, but they also refresh and renew the landscape of your soul. And before I get the clarifier on this, I really am thinking about how I remember I was talking about that light behind her head and the enlightenment. I feel like that's the lesson, the understanding that she's gotten from really just being vulnerable in this storm. She's just got whatever the clothes on her back, and we're just being amongst the elements. And I think that there's this really kind of being, when we're going through those challenging times, one, let something to help refresh you. See how you're handling a situation now compared to how you used to handle something. I think even that just juxtaposition alone can bring a lot of kind of comfort in a situation where you still may feel like you could be handling it better, but hey, you are in a sense, you are, and you're just wanting to thrive. You're thriving for more. The vision has changed. There's been this elevation. It's like as we continue to better ourselves, there are newer things that come into this realm, that the task in order to to ascend to the next level. And there's just always something. There's always going to be something, but that's not to meant it to make it to sound like it's this daunting thing. It's meant to be something of an encouragement, because if you just get to a wall and you just stop growing, then things would just get boring. You would have nothing to do. Just imagine just learning it all. Then there's and that's it. You can just go and call it a day, because what else is there to strive for? And I think that's what makes this experience so great, is that even though you're maybe work with like a finite amount of time or whatever that may be looking like, there is so much to learn. There's so much to do. There's so much to experience. Someone was just talking with me about they plan on doing this trip, and just going for this experiences, to go out of this country, to go meet, to try the food, to be out in this nature, to be, to meet this people. And, that's what, and it doesn't have to be compared to other people's as well, but there's just something here about, let me get another card on this, and then we're going to get some tarot. What a contrast. I like that. So we have the Feast of Gratitude card here. And this is relish life's blessings. A heart filled with gratitude attracts abundance. And you've gotten this card before too as well. And this gratitude, this smorgasbord that she has in front of her, those are the experiences. Those are those moments where weren't sure if you were going to get through this thing. How are you going to get, what do you get? Those, when you really feel you're in the thick of it. And then when you get out of it, it's like you gain so much from this. You gain so much insight, so much wisdom, so much. Sometimes you get actual things from it. But if you don't get anything else, you get an experience, you get more wisdom in that. And that, I feel like it's worth more than anything that you can physically attain here. There's just something so gratifying about that. At least that's what I think is trying to come through here. And let's see what the past energies were looking like. Let's get some tarot on this and get some more into these stories here. Oh, how interesting. Thanks, Spirit. Oh, and that's literally what was happening. I love how the story is continuing. So you have the Emperor card in reverse here, which is Aries energy. And this is interesting because if you were to watch the previous video, the future card was the Emperor in reverse. So now that we're in the past energy, the Emperor was in reverse. And so we were at this place where we need to take action. Where you've come to this challenge, and there is a cornucopia on the other side of this thing. This is a big moment for you, with these, when we're thinking about these major cards here, if you're ready to move on through this thing, I'm almost feeling like there's this thing of like, I'm getting a message of sitting through a discomfort. I'm getting pushed towards like the suite of Aries, or the cards, the minor cards of Aries, the 2, 3, and 4 of Wands, and how it goes from that energy, that state of establishing your domain, that dominion, moving through that, carrying that fire through that, in that even gets kind of embodying that Leo energy, where we're cardinal. We started something off, we're sustaining that through Leo, and then we're seeing it through this energy, through this completion here. And I'm gonna get a clarifier on this, of course, but maybe there was a time where you needed to be in this state of inaction. Even I'm getting kind of with the Emperor here, but now that was in the past, and maybe things are needing to, possibly change in the present. But let's get a clarifier before we move on to these present situation. And I'm just looking at this. I'm going to show you here in a moment. The king, or the king. Well, he is a king. He is a type of king. The Emperor. Oh, we're going to get a little bit more. Oh, okay. But I'm looking at this crown where it's like with it being in reverse, it's like he's focused. His head is towards the ground. He was too rooted, maybe a little bit too close in the problem, and maybe there's this need to step back away from this, from a thing, and in order to figure out how to move through a situation. But let's see what's going on here. Okay, so the Emperor is clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, and then you have the upright, and then you have the Page of Cups in reverse. And now this Page of Cups here is giving me this, not, maybe there was this need, and I'm just even kind of remembering with that past Cancer reading where there was this call for healing. There was a Queen of Cups that had showed up, and this could have been, maybe this past time has been an invitation for you to kind of do some personal work, do some inner work, kind of focus on the things that, focus on the fires, or the problems, or whatever it is, the challenges that you may be going through right now. But of course, it feels like with this Page of Cups, it didn't come without this struggle here. But let's see where you've gone. I think I could get better context with this past energy if we got more present stuff. So let me get the present card here to kind of make this more cohesive. We're going to get one more for the present. Ooh, look at that. We got our ruler here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you have the Six of Cups upright and the High Priestess here. So presently, it seems like we're trying to it almost feels like we're trying to navigate our way to the enjoyment, to this feast of gratitude. I think that this High Priestess being here, the High Priestess is very mysterious. She holds a lot of these. She has a lot of, very, very much a lot of inner knowing. And the fact that you have a lot of kind of major cards coming through here. It feels like there's some sort of like either like some kind of secrets, and I don't mean like this big secret, like it's like this hard thing to figure out, but there's something here. I'm just looking at the scroll that the priestess is holding, and there's something here that in these challenges, therein lies, there are some hidden treasures in in these challenges that are going to be something that you'll be able to kind of not just bask in this abundance and gratitude yourself, be grateful for a situation, for how it happened, because it's made you so much wiser, but you to where you'll be able to share that feast with others and to be able to do it from a place because you put in the work. That Eight of Pentacles energy. Maybe even with this Page of Cups, even when you didn't feel like it. You know, this was in the past. We didn't quite feel like these things. You know, we had to put in this work, and now it's just like this priestess in the Six of Cups is the why. You know, we do the work. It's that sort of emotional kind of gratification that I'm getting, the pleasure from getting through something and knowing that, like, kind of looking back on something and it's just like, man, that was tough, but look at me, I was tougher. You thought that situation where, you know, I'm just thinking about that when you say for someone's ever gotten in like a fight where they're like, yeah, you think I look bad, you should see the other person. That's how I feel about this situation. But let me get a clarifier. Need a clarifier on these two. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. You're getting a couple clarifiers here. Oh, interesting. Look at this pair of nines. So you have the Nine of Swords for the High Priestess, and then you have the Nine of Cups, both in reverse, for the Six of Cups. And this Six of Cups in reverse is it's Nine of Cups is giving me this because this is Jupiter and Pisces, and Jupiter loves Pisces. Jupiter, that's one of the signs that Jupiter rules. And this Nine of Cups is giving me, as compared to the Nine of Swords, this is giving me this, maybe even in combination with those two, it's like you're getting the relief from the Nine of Swords. Or at least there is this opportunity for that. But it seems like with the Nine of Cups, maybe it's not coming the way you had wished or maybe you had hoped. Or, you know, as far as like when a situation happens, it's just like, well, why did this thing happen in the first place? You know, I was doing this thing, the blah, 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 blah. But maybe something wasn't quite right at the time. There was... Yeah, it gives me that, yeah, not what or it's like, you know, we're getting close to the holidays here in the States, and, you know, getting around like Christmas time, and just thinking about if you had a list. I was actually just talking with someone about this, where you make a list and then someone buys everything except the things on your list. It's kind of like that, but it's the thought that counts. That's what this energy is kind of giving me here. Because it's ultimately leading to that alleviation of the cruelty that the Nine of Swords can bring, the toughness that this card can bear. You know, this is Mars and Gemini, and this is a lot of active mental energy here. And I think that with this Nine of Swords, it's like, in order to hear and feel that messages from the High Priestess, to get the gratification, the gratitude, the understanding, the wisdom, that it's working through these thoughts here. And where you may have had these wishes, and it's not to say that the wishes aren't going to come true, it just may not be how you think it's going to come to fruition. But that's, you know, there's something in that as well, you know. I'm even just getting some. I'm looking at how this woman is looking at her. Maybe it's her daughter, maybe it's just niece, whatever. You know, the young girl smelling this flower here, just enjoying this moment. But there's some sort of like, where there's enjoyment in this card, there's like this melancholy here. Because this is the majors associated with this are the Sun card and the Death card. And where this is a very sweet moment, You know, there's something here. It's like there's yes, it's something about the impermanence of this moment. And I think not just for the gratitude. I think sometimes, you know, when we get to a place where something is feeling good, it's just like, well, how long is this gonna last? Well, you know, when it's like something, you know, something tougher is going on, it's like, well, yeah, how long is this gonna last? You know, like I'm not quite sure how to explain that. Like where, hmm, yeah, hopefully that makes. Yeah, I'm gonna move on from that, but it just let's get some future energy and see what's going on with that. Okay. Spirit. Oh, nice. Okay. So for your future energy here, you have the Page of Wands upright. And so this to me, it's just like where are we going from here? You know, how are we where are we going and how are we growing from here? You know, she's got these flowers, she's got this wand to channel her energy, and it's just like, okay, how am I gonna make these flowers bloom? I have these idea of what I want them to look like. I want a whole field of these. Abundance. How do I do that? You know, and that's what I think this future energy is like, thinking about the thing that you want to will, and then you know, go from that Emperor in reverse to this page upright, and making that feeling come to fruition, come to action. Let it manifest. So let's get a clarifier for that. That one feels pretty straightforward there. Spirit. Oh wow. So the Page of Wands is clarified by the Page of Wands in reverse. So when we have things like that happen, there's, you know, I think that there's going to be times where we make progress and then we doubt. We doubt. You know, there's this oscillating feature that I think is trying to convey itself here. But I I it feels like as long as there is some sort of momentum, you can get through the thing. You know, let's say if you're building, I'm just metaphor, just for like a house, and you're just starting from the ground up. You know, you got this vision, and it's like, you know, you may just put down, let's say we're building out a brick, you might just do a brick a day, and that may not be efficient, but you know what? Maybe you don't feel like tackling like a whole wall all at once, or you know, hang with me in this analogy, but you get as long as you're taking steps towards your goal, that's what matters. That's the point. It doesn't matter how big or how small, as long as you're facing the challenge each day, you're coming like, all right, how can I be better than I was yesterday? In what ways can I improve? Maybe I might be keeping a baseline, you know, it's like maybe kind of low energy, but hey, as long as there's some energy there, you know, there's mindfulness there. It's not just like, you know, subconscious things just running the show. You know, like we can be kind with ourselves here. But I'm getting drawn to how they're both kind of looking at how this figure's looking at their wand. She's looking at these flowers, and they're drawn towards something. There's something that's being contemplated, that's wanting that solar energy, to Leo energy, to be channeled somewhere else. You know, like that filling your heart with gratitude for these for showing up each day, you know, attracts more abundance in all of these things. But let's get some advice from the sun. He's even got quite a few Sun cards here. Eight of Pentacles, Sun in Virgo. Six of Cups, Sun in Scorpio. Okay. So for some advice, you have the Ace of Pentacles. And that's what I was, like, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And that's what I was getting. It's even though, you know, if we're getting, whatever this challenge may be, if we're just handling it with baby steps, that's all that matters, is that it's being handled. The reward is going to be there all the same. This kind of Ace of Pentacles is giving me what you get back what you put in anything in life. And so, you know, why not give something? You know, like, you give something. It doesn't have to be compared to anybody else. Like, you know, do what is manageable for you, and then if you do that enough, it just, you start surrounding yourself and then you have this feast to carry you through the next trial of tempest, because that's going to happen. We're going to go through a tempest of trials, and then we're going to feast, and we're going to talk about it and all the BS that went down and why it went down, and how we're not going to do certain things going forward, and how we're going to do more things of this going forward, so that the lows aren't so low and then the highs feel more manageable. You know, like, everything feels more balanced, I think, with this Ace of Pentacles being here. But let's get a clarifier for that one. And this is the aces are the start of something. They're not necessarily the thing made, you know, to the thing manifested, but they're the root of, this would be the root of earth. And so the thing that you're trying to materialize, it may not be there yet, but it's coming. You know, the thought of it behind it's there. It's able to become tangible, but we need to get kind of on the offensive here with this. You got the Nine of Wands clarifying this, and it feels like there's this. It's how do you keep the Oh, you know, let me go ahead and switch over. It's like, how do you keep things going and keep this energy going when you're kind of feeling down, feeling a little, it's like changing tactics a little bit, as opposed to being on the defensive and expecting something bad is going to happen. It's getting on the offense and creating something good to happen to impact the flux, you know, the adjustment. So, and I find, and it's no different than if you were to like when you prepare for, think about just like farming. You have the planting season when it becomes spring. We're growing some things. We're seeding like crazy. We're tending to this stuff. We're reaching the harvest around whatever time that is. And around Virgo season, Libra season. And then we store up everything as we get ready to get into like Cap season, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, Pisces. And we do it all over again. So, you know, this to me, that Nine of Wands to the Ace of Pentacles, it's being more proactive. It's recognizing the trends. It's just like, okay, this is what happened last time. This is what I had to kind of call upon that. And then I feel like the High Priestess there is giving you your diploma. You know, that's what she's waiting for you to take this. I'm looking at this pomegranate, and it's got me thinking about Persephone and how, you know, she's, you know, half her time in the underworld, and it's like, you've been to the underworld before, but you know what? When you come back up, it's springtime. She's popping out of springtime. Everything's lovely. And there can even be something, and it's not to romanticize the darkness. This nine of swords here. But there is this, I notice when, and this has just been here recently, I've noticed when, I have my, my sun and south node in the 12th house, and when I notice sort of things are kind of like coming through like that, when I feel certain like kind of tendencies and things to kind of fall back and stuff, it becomes less of a craving. The craving stuff is still there, but it's more so just like it becomes a signal now where it's just like, oh, I'm feeling this thing, something is amiss in the environment. And usually I already kind of know what it is, but now it's like, hey, this is probably something that you can't really ignore, that we're probably gonna have to do something about this eventually, sooner, 9 times out of 10, sooner rather than later. So just some things to just kind of ponder there. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who would get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe to your page of wands, double page of wands. Hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each day. And then last little bit, actually I'll shuffle you for your surprise cards here while I'm doing that. But if you want to talk, well, want to hear me talk about what the other planets and the sun are doing, I have on my other channel, Alchemist 8, I like to do weekly videos talking about the transits. I have a thought where I may do 1 week where I release a couple of videos. I probably could have done that I'm going to get that figured out. But I'm trying to get where I'm like maybe like a week ahead so that you can kind of work towards this energy as opposed to kind of like coming up on it. So that's something that I just was thinking about. So there might be just like some like a slight shift there, but like ever so slight. It's always posted on Mercury days, so Wednesdays. Okay. But, interesting. Thanks, Spirit. Let's talk about your surprise card here. Because you have the musician card in reverse here. And this is a card of inspiration and of gratitude. And so there's this double gratitude here. And, not that we really, the ebbs, when things are ebbing instead of flowing. That's where it's those experiences that give us the kind of inspiration to change something, interestingly enough. There is, think about sometimes what musicians will write. They'll say sometimes they'll write some of their best stuff from like a heartbreak or something along those lines. Or when they're going through a tough time, you can find ways of getting that stuff out. And then there's something here about letting all the experiences of life be your inspiration and to be grateful for all of the things that have happened, whatever that looks like. I know that we all go through these experiences, but there is a reason that we are going through them, and growing through them. And I would just be mindful about just being stagnant. That's just something that I would say to kind of be wary of. Because if there's nothing happening, I'm not sure, then it's just like, yeah, there's no, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but just making sure that there's something that helps you keep inspired in this journey, that helps you feel, and if not, like, how can you invite more things of blessings into your life? Because there are miracles everywhere. When I think of just about even just the act of rain, of water coming down from the sky. We don't gotta ask for it. It'll just come. And just the abundance that this world can bring when we're responsible with it too. When we're responsible with the growth and but I think that's all I got for you there. So just some things to ruminate about. But until next time, keep raising that consciousness and keep eyes on that moon. And I will catch you on the next one. We'll talk about expansion, Jupiter Day.